All right, y'all. Welcome back. Day 2 of e-learning. First thing I'm going to do is go through a couple notes here from day 1, and then I have a couple notes for your homework today, which is circles number 7. All right, so first, attendance. Attendance was good. I got everybody's attendance eventually. Please comment here on the announcements. It's easy for me to take attendance, works out, and then when you turn in your assignment at the end, that shows you did the work. So comment here on the announcement. If you're having any trouble with that, feel free to send me a direct message. As many you did, totally fine, works out. A few of you, and these two kind of go together here. All right, make sure you're showing work. If you're just writing the answers, I cannot give you full points. If you notice, the points went up a little bit. Out of 5 points on these homework assignments, that's just for the first couple. I'll probably go down, but that's accounting for work. So show work, otherwise you will not get points or not get full points. And look back at my feedback. I put feedback on every single person's assignment. So if you didn't look at it, go back and look at my notes. I'll go through a couple things today and some of the issues I saw. And last is our next class. So that's next week, Monday or Tuesday. I'm going to do a Zoom conference just so I can see all your pretty faces again. And at that time, you can ask any questions you have on either the homework that was due last or this assignment here so we can get everything straightened out before we have a homework quiz at the end of that class time. So that's next class, not this one. Right now, we're just going to do circles number 7. I'm going to show you, we do a couple quick notes here, and then the rest of the class time will be to finish circle 7 again, show work. All right, get this out of here. Goodbye, goodbye, goodbye. Can I get rid of this thing? How do I get rid of this thing? I can't get rid of this, I guess. Let's see, how did I do it? There we go. Delete. All right. So the first 2 pages of the last one, circles number 6, this one is 7, were mostly good. I'm trying to think, what was some of the stuff I saw? Okay, right here, the second page. Most of us got this. It was pretty easy work. All right, you have to realize that this angle is half the size of this arc. It's half the size, okay? It's not. This answer is not 60. That is not right, okay? The answer, you have to literally double the angle. It's 60 times 2. So the answer is 120 degrees. It also works backwards, though. So, okay, if I give you the angle, you have to double it, and that's going to give me the arc. It could go the opposite way. What if I give you the arc, and you have to find the angle? Let me find one like that. There you go. Number 20. Look, it gives me the arc. So now, instead of multiplying this number by 2, I'm actually dividing it by 2. So make sure you can tell the difference. It depends. This time I was looking for the angle. The other one I was looking for the arc. So this answer would be 47 degrees. Now, these I'm not really looking for work. I don't need to see much for problems like 20 that I did there and 10, okay? However, for the next problems I'm going to do, you need to show work. And if you do not, you will not be receiving points. Okay, and you see I'm grading these real quick. So if you want the points, you need to show the work. All right, so let's start with something like number 2. Okay, number 2 was the third page on circles number 6. Okay, where I have an angle on the inside of the circle, but not at the center, right? If there's a center dot there, it would be different. This angle is not at the center. And the formula for this one, according to the notes, is that it's going to be the angle, right? Oops, the angel. The angle, okay, and that's this right here, 95, will be equal to, and it's going to be the average of the arcs. So this arc, which I'm going to call, let's use a different color here, going to call that x. So it's x plus the other arc over here, 60. There's my 2 arcs. X plus 60, and then divided by 2. Okay. Oh, I guess I should fill in the angle too, huh? All right. Fine. What is the angle? It is 95. All right. So it's the angle. So, and sometimes the angle is the x. In this case, the angle is 95. Sometimes the angle could be the question mark. Okay, so sometimes the x goes here, but not this time. Multiply both sides by 2. which most of us I saw doing correctly, so I feel like that step doesn't need to be reiterated. Okay, so 190 equals, and now I've cleared the fraction, it's x plus 60, and then you just minus 60 both sides. All right, there's my answer. X equals 130 degrees. Let me find another one like number 2. Let me kind of stroll through. Okay, so numbers 9 and numbers 11 are the same. Okay, number 9 is literally the same as the one I just did. There's the angle, and it's a number, and then you average the arcs. Okay, 11 is the problem that I was talking about. Well, look, my x is now the angle. So the setup is just going to be slightly different. X equals, and then really this is just calculator work. Arc plus arc divided by 2. And make sure you add those arcs together first. Plus 135, and that's so 200 divided by 2 is 100. Yep. Looks like a 100-degree angle. I take it. All right. I need to see at least this, otherwise you will not get points. Do not just write 100 and expect to get points. I'm looking at every single person's assignment. Okay. All right. So that is that type of problem. Last thing I'll do here, okay, is when we have the angle on the outside, okay? And I saw a couple people making some mistakes, so let me try and sort that out right now. So this is the last page, or would have been a problem similar to the last page from circles number 6. We're obviously on 7. Okay, but the setup is kind of the same as this one that these problems we were just doing, right? You do the angle. So there's angle right here. It's 55 this time. The angle equals, and now it's going to be the arcs, but you're going to subtract them. This is the key right here, and I left a lot of people this note. I said big arc first. Okay, it is super important because we are subtracting that you do the big arc first. This number has to go first, and then the small arc goes second. Okay, so this purple arc has to go first when I set up my equation. It has to be 172 minus x over 2. Most of us got the formula correct, but if I circled this at the top of your fraction and I said big arc first, that means you flipped those two and you wrote it like this, okay, which would have been incorrect for this problem. There are problems where we put the x first, but that's only when the x, or the question mark, is on the big arc, right? The purple one, this one over here, okay? But in this case, I know the big arc is 172. All right, so here's the setup. Multiply both sides by 2. Again, most of us were okay with that. And yes, you get negatives here, but that's okay because when I subtract, right, 172 from both sides, I'm going to get a negative here. That's fine because look at my x. My x is a negative. It's negative x on this side, and then 110 minus 172 is negative 62. I'm pretty darn sure. Sure is, okay? But now just divide both sides by negative 1, right? You're free. So you're going to get negatives in the middle of the problem, but eventually it will get sorted out. Okay, so negative 62 degrees is the small arc in this case. Okay, let me do another one. Sure, I'll do 3 just to show you, okay, what is the angle? And it's always in the same spot. The angle, right, it's either on the outside here or like number 2, you know, it's on the inside. But the angle always goes first, so always start with the angle. In this case, my angle is x. So x equals big arc. Look at these two. Which one's the big arc? It's always the one, right, that's farthest from the angle, the other side. This 180 is the big arc. That has to go first. Minus, and then here's my small arc. 110 over 2. This one's an easy one. 70 divided by 2, right? 180 minus 110 is 70 divided by 2. X equals 35. Okay. All right. Now let me do one where the question mark is on the big arc. So let me find one Where the question mark is on, there it is. Okay. Number 13. Okay, the angle is on the outside. So I'm going to take the angle, okay, equals big arc x minus small arc. The big arc, the arc that's across from the angle, the farthest side, always has to go first. Always, okay. 2, let's see, 138 equals x minus 46, and then add 46 both sides. All right. X equals 184 degrees. Yeah, looks about right. Cool. All right, so that's pretty much it. I don't want to get too far in here, okay? Use your peers to help you, right? I know you guys all have Snapchat groups or whatever, okay? You cannot just write the answers, so don't just share the answers and don't write the work down, okay? It's probably easier if you just figure out how to do the work and just get in a flow. It's quicker that way than to sit around and wait for someone to share the work with you. So, those are pretty much the problems. One more I wanted to show you. Number 4. Oh, man. If the angle is at the center. So when they put that dot in there and the angle starts at the center, central angles are equal to the arcs, right? So this one is just 80. That's what some of us got confused with the second page on. We hadn't done central arcs in a bit, or central angles rather, and their arcs. Okay, so those are equal. So look at number 4, and then look at something like 6. They're not the same because the angle is not at the center. So this one is one of the problems. If the angle is on the circle, okay, the angle is half the size of the intercepted arc. Half the size. So if it's 55 here, it's going to be 110 out here. If it's 110 out here, then you divide it by 2, it's 55 in there. Okay, there's another central angle. Come on now. That's 68. Now, what's that going to be? Okay, so try and get used to the different types of questions. So obviously there's a couple different types. I'd say there's 1, 2, 3, 4-ish, right? And then sometimes the X's go in different places. So identify those. Come to the Zoom session next week with any specific questions from Circle 6 or 7, and I'll answer them. And then we'll have a homework quiz on this, and we'll move on to the next stuff. All right? Good luck, and if you have any questions, put them in the discussion page, and I'll answer them pretty much immediately.